sunny and warm today, but I'm tracking some showers overnight. I'll show you how much rain we'll see.
Major campus expansion. Today, UNC's Carolina North project takes a step forward. The decision we're expecting today that could move this project closer to a groundbreaking.
Concert crackdown this morning, a push to make buying tickets easier and more affordable. The effort to stop second and third party sellers from hiking prices and selling fake stubs.
We're following those stories and more. WRAL News at 8 and Fox 50 starts in about 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Your number one source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Good morning. The time is 8 a.m. here on your Wednesday. I'm Laura Levine. Thanks so much for joining us on Fox 50.
And I'm Ken Smith. Of course, we had to wear our jackets this morning,
Yes.
but boy, we need to peel those off later on. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
It's a beautiful start out there. We take a live look at North Hills, gorgeous blue sky, just a few puffy cumulus clouds, and that's what we'll see on through the afternoon. Temperatures are beginning to warm up. We dropped down as chilly as mid-40s this morning, but now it's 54. So here goes the warm up, and it'll happen quickly for us. It's already 60 in Clinton. It's still 46 in Roxborough, at 54 in Rocky Mount and in Southern Pines. And our temperature by lunchtime is in the mid-70s. We climb to 80 for a high this afternoon. If you're going to be out and about this evening, temperatures will be back into the mid-70s. So a real pretty day in our forecast. But overnight tonight, a front comes through with a chance for rain starting close to midnight and ending before the morning commute. I'll show you why we won't see much rain out of this system coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now, we're seeing the ebb and flow of congestion on I-87 in Knightdale as we look live at I-87 at Smithfield Road. These are the southbound lanes coming toward us this morning. Every now and then, I mean, it'll be like a parking lot, and then all of a sudden it starts flowing. Here's what it looks like, that entire stretch going all the way back to Wyndham Falls Parkway and even back to Knightdale Boulevard. You're looking at a 9-minute delay right now. So if you're in a rush this morning, you might want to get somewhere and you want to avoid I-87, Business 64, Knightdale Boulevard, probably your best bet if you're coming in from Knightdale all point east. Here's a look at the southern loop of the Beltline. This is the usual congestion we see this time of the morning on I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So let's take a look at that southern loop of the Beltline, what you can expect. You're looking at an 8-minute delay right now. We are picking up some delays around Jones Sausage Road coming in from the Gardner-Johnson County area. You're looking at a 9-minute delay between Highway 36 and the Beltline. Coming up, I'll take a look at some other routes that's heading into the Raleigh-Wake County area.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Raleigh police now looking for the driver of a stolen vehicle this morning. Police found the car on New Bern Avenue and Ferris Court at around 1:30. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as forensics were investigating. Police say officers were not involved in a chase before this investigation. And over in Cary this morning, firefighters were called out to an early morning house fire. This happened on Nottely Place. It's near Green Level Church Road. The Cary fire chief says 3 people were in the home, but nobody was hurt. It appears that the fire started outside the house. Today, we'll be watching for updates at the state legislative building as Republican leaders say that they finally reached a budget deal.
Yeah, WR's Kirsten Clark is live outside the legislative building this morning. Kirsten, this is a deal that ends a year-long standoff over spending up priorities.
Yes, Ken, and the agreement includes raises for all state employees, including big bumps for teachers and law enforcement officers, and a consensus on scheduled income tax cuts. Now, let's take a closer look at the details here. It includes at least a 3% raise for all state employees and an on average 8% raise for teachers. State law enforcement officers, prison workers, and more would also see larger raises. There are also bonuses on the table depending on employee experience. Now, the deal would institute gradual income tax decreases over the next few years, reaching 3.24% by 2030. At the same time, it calls for a pair of constitutional amendments on the November ballot, which would cap income and property taxes. House Speaker Destin Hall said tax provisions were key, but Democrats say the raises are too little and they should have been approved a long time ago.
why on earth would we be treating people outside of the state better than we're treating people inside the state? Why don't we give meaningful relief to the people who are complaining?
And so our goal all along has been to stretch out the timeline on the tax cuts, and it was way too quick under the prior policy because we had those static triggers.
Yeah, so hearing from both sides there, that budget deal will still need to make its way through the House and the Senate before it can reach Governor Josh Stein's desk. We, of course, will continue to follow the latest developments, which can be found on WRAL.com. Live in Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
As Kirsten just mentioned, we are following all the new developments on the state budget negotiations. You can stay up to date on WRAL.com, the WRAL News app, and WRAL News Plus. And be sure to tune into our evening news starting at 4 this afternoon.
An entrance at WakeMed's Raleigh campus is temporarily closed after a car crashed into the building. The crash happened around 8:15 last night. WakeMed says the driver unintentionally hit the building. 2 people were treated for minor injuries.
This morning, the UNC Chapel Hill Board of Trustees is moving forward with its plan to build a 250-acre second campus called Carolina North. It's less than 2 miles away from the flagship campus. Let's get to WRAL Ali Kadlabar. She's joining us live near the site where that campus will be built off MLK Boulevard there in Chapel Hill. And Ali, tell us about the project and how today's vote will advance this building process.
Yeah, well, trustees, they are set to approve designers for this project today, and here's where that new campus would be. This is the former Horace Williams Airport. Now, we do have some new drone video of this site. You can see it is 700 acres in total. Now, this is just the beginning of a multi-phase project. Phase 1 would include undergraduate housing for more than 2,000 students, academic research buildings, a hotel, and retail spaces. Carolina North is one location being considered for a replacement for the Dean Smith Center, but Phase 1 doesn't include a basketball arena at this point. Now, construction for Phase 1 of this project begins as early as next year. UNC Chapel Hill Board of Trustees are going to meet at 10 this morning for that special called meeting where they're going to decide on the designers for this project. Reporting live in Chapel Hill, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
New this morning, researchers say students are in a, quote, reading recession. Now, new data released today shows North Carolina and most U.S. states are still about half of a grade level behind where they were in reading before COVID-19. Well, North Carolina is one of many states overhauling how it teaches young children to read. The state is doing it to align with decades of research on how people learn to read. State officials say more work is coming, especially for second and third graders. For more on North Carolina's results and what the state is doing, visit the education section of WRAL.com.
Swinging over here to the WRAL Live Center, I'm keeping my eye on 3 different perspectives on this feed here. This is as Air Force One is sitting on an airstrip in China where the president just arrived not long ago. So you have 3 perspectives. Again, they're waiting outside of Air Force One. And the second one shows it zoomed in for where President Donald Trump will descend the stairs. In terms of why he's in China, he's talking about 3 different T's: trade, tech, and Taiwan. Obviously, one discussion likely will be what's going on regarding the war in Iran and specifically what that means for the global economy as a whole. But this is, again, just a look at where these folks are gathered outside to greet President Donald Trump. We'll be looking to see his actual visit and what he accomplishes while talking with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Look for updates on WRAL.com. And it looks like, let's see, is that what you just said, walking down? Okay. Sorry, I thought my producer said that he was walking down the steps there. It looks like other source here. Let me go out. There he is right here as he's walking down the steps. And again, the president's going to be there for a bit to, at least through Friday, to try to talk about these different topics I was just mentioning. We will be following this on WRAL, so make sure you look at our WRAL YouTube channel and WRAL.com for updates.
Okay, Chris, thank you. This morning, there's an effort to make buying concert tickets to see your favorite artists easier and more affordable. People are calling for a crackdown on second and third party ticket resales. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from downtown Raleigh now. And Kelsey, there really is a big push to make it illegal to use bots for buying tickets. It's an issue so many people have been talking about for a while now.
Yes, Laura, it sure is. That push is all about helping you buy tickets to go see the artists you love without getting ripped off. So that's why conversations will be happening here inside the Poorhouse Music Hall in downtown Raleigh a little bit later this morning about this effort to make the ticket buying process easier and more affordable. Today's call to action comes after Ticketmaster's parent company, Live Nation, was found guilty of overcharging and having a monopoly over large venues. Now there's a call to target price gouging for concert tickets at clubs and small venues in North Carolina by putting limits on second and third party sellers. A new bill could ban resellers from using bots to buy a large amount of tickets. It would also require resellers to provide direct links to the primary seller and stop using misleading content that makes them look like the primary seller. This all in an effort to lower ticket prices and prevent fake tickets from being sold. North Carolina lawmakers, club owners, and musicians will be meeting here at the Poorhouse at 10:30 this morning for a news conference to discuss this new plan. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
A Johnson County man is charged in connection with a shooting. Brian Wilson facing charges including stalking and assault with a deadly weapon. The shooting happened yesterday morning on Brook Lane near Middlesex. EMS transported that victim to the hospital. We're working to find out the identity and condition of the person who was shot.
Your time now, 8:11. Property tax savings. State lawmakers advanced a bill that could provide some relief for homeowners. The new concerns about the future of education funding if it becomes law.
Also, bridge collapse charges. Federal prosecutors filing charges in connection to the deadly 2024 bridge collapse in Baltimore. How much the owner and operators of the ship could owe if found guilty.
Our next weather maker is a cold front that's heading our way. When it crosses the mountains tonight, it's not likely to bring a whole lot of rain, but I'll let you know what you could see coming up. (8:14), here comes our next weather maker, but you can see not a lot of rain with it. That's not likely to change when it moves through here overnight tonight. This is a look at the timeline. It's likely to start right around or just before midnight, and it will end before we get to the morning commute. We'll talk about how much rain you could see where you are coming up. In the meantime, it's a pretty day out. It's been chilly this morning, so definitely people walking up and down Fayetteville Street with their jackets on. This is, of course, a look from our Jimmy V camera looking down Fayetteville Street. Right now it's 54 in Raleigh, 50 in Roanoke Rapids, 54 in Goldsboro and in Rocky Mount, but we started as chilly as the mid-40s this morning. Nice warm up this afternoon, though. We'll hit 80 degrees for the high. If you're out for some exercise this evening, temperatures will drop into the mid-70s, and coming up, we'll follow that cold front across our area tonight.
Elizabeth, happening now. Congestion beginning to ease up just a little bit on those I-87 lanes coming in out of Knightdale as we look live at I-87 at Smithfield Road. The southbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So let's stretch out the view of I-87 going all the way back to Wendell Falls Parkway. Right now you're looking at an 11-minute delay. So even though traffic looks like it's flowing in the Smithfield Road area, once you get past I-540, we're still seeing some congestion going all the way to the Beltline. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out. Business 64 Knightdale Boulevard is an excellent alternate route to avoid I-87 right now.
Now to a developing story out of Texas. Another body has been discovered that appears to be in connection to 6 victims found in a sweltering train car in Laredo last weekend. The body was found along train tracks near San Antonio. Police believe that person had been inside the same boxcar. The victims have not been identified. The owners and operators of the cargo ship that slammed into a Baltimore bridge in 2024 are now being criminally charged. 6 people were killed when the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed after the crash. Federal prosecutors are accusing the owners and operators of conspiracy, obstruction, and lying to federal investigators. If found guilty, they could be liable for billions of dollars on top of the civil settlement that they have already been reached.
A bill that could save you money on property taxes is raising concerns about funding for education. The bill would put a question on November's ballot about a constitutional amendment. Now, if approved, it would restrict how much city and county governments could raise property taxes each year. But for counties, keep in mind, property taxes are the main funding source.
Well, it is deeply frustrating and disconcerting that, again, we are not really uplifting the conversation about the role of the state, taking a step back from really fulfilling their obligation to fund the things that are now being pushed to the local level.
I'm not confident that more money is going to stop any spending. So we have to put a cap on the levy limit.
Lawmakers also discussed closing an affordable housing property tax loophole that would benefit local municipalities. Ray County lost $12 million in revenue due to that loophole.
Happening today, North Carolina First Lady Anna Stein and former Carolina Panther star Steve Smith Sr. will be in Raleigh to talk about mental health. They will speak at a business summit about the mental health challenges that our workforce faces. That will be at Westin Hotel near RDU.
Raleigh's main water source keeps shrinking. The city tells us Falls Lake water supply is now at 77% capacity. That's down 1% from last week. The shrinking water supply is why Raleigh water customers remain under water restrictions. City leaders expect restrictions to be in place until at least June.
Well, our weather has been severe clear most of the spring when it usually is very active. Let's bring in meteorologist Chris Michaels breaking down the root cause behind the lack of storminess and today's Ask the Meteorologist. And Chris, it was just this time last year I was out in Pine Tops where we saw 3 tornadoes in just one county out there.
Yeah, it was all in Edgecombe County. You remember it very well. And a lot of it was in those morning hours in Pine Tops. In fact, here's some of the video that Laura had gotten on this day last year and some of that damage to a house there. And yeah, you may remember those 3 EF1s. This is typically the time of year when you start to see more of that activity. But this year has been different. Let's kind of break down the numbers. In North Carolina, you averaged 234 total severe weather warnings between March and May. We've had 96. We're thankful for that, right? I beg and I pray for the rain, but not for severe weather. We've had 14 tornado warnings in the state, all of which in March. Last time April and May went without a tornado warning was in 2016. Pardon me. And it's been the least amount of severe thunderstorm warnings in the spring since 1994. Here's the root cause. High pressure over the eastern U.S. Beneath it, air sinks. It means less cloud cover, meaning less rain, less storms, and the clockwise wind around it blocking storms out toward the west. And Elizabeth, that's kind of the pattern we're going to see heading into the weekend, too.
Yeah, and once we get into that pattern, of course, that means that our chances for getting out of the drought just continue to drop. But this is a live look at North Hills. We do have that cold front that'll come through later on tonight, but it also looks pretty moisture starved. Beautiful sunshine out there, and we had a cool start to the morning with temperatures in the 40s, and now we're in the mid-50s. Winds are nice and light right now, so it's on the comfortable side. Here's that next weather maker. That cold front starting to move through the Ohio Valley and some of that rain pushing into West Virginia. But it's trending. The bulk of the energy with this is with the low pressure system way up to the north. It needs some energy to help draw some moisture out of the Gulf and out of the Atlantic to bring some rain along with that front, and it just doesn't look like that's going to happen. It is likely to be an overnight event starting around 11 or 12, so we'll start things off here between 4 and 5 p.m. today, and you can see the sunshine lingers with plenty of sunshine and a few clouds. By 10 or 11, we begin to see some rain in some of our western counties. This is midnight, so some rain around Durham, Raleigh, and over towards Southern Pines. By 2 a.m., it's mostly fizzled out, but from Raleigh eastward, a few light showers, and it's out of the viewing area by around 5 o'clock. And the amount of rain that we see out of this is going to be minimal. Again, probably 1/10 of an inch or less. So we just keep waiting on the next weather maker. Our rain chances don't look good after that. It's a 20% chance Saturday, Sunday. That'll continue into Monday and Tuesday. But it's that summer pattern where we have, a pop-up cell here, a pop-up cell there, and it's nothing widespread that really helps to refill the reservoirs. How's that going to affect your weekend? Well, expect it to be pretty hot and back to being humid, too. It's really going to feel like summer. We'll have that isolated shower each day, and Sunday in particular feels pretty hot. So summer makes you feel or makes you think of Memorial Day weekend. This precipitation outlook, I feel like, is focused on that with a small chance for above normal chances for rain. It looks like we could have a stalled front during the Memorial Day weekend with our next best chance for rain. We'll keep watching that one. One thing to watch on Friday morning is the chilly temperatures. We're back down into the 40s before we return to that summer feel. Ken?
Hi, Elizabeth, happening now. Boy, the troubled spot this time of the morning usually is right here, the southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us. You can see it's bumper-to-bumper traffic. And as jammed up as that looks, though, you're just looking at a 6-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. So keep in mind that southern loop of the Beltline includes the I-40, 440 interchange there in Southeast Raleigh all the way over to US 1 there in Cary. If you're coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, no delays between Highway 36 and the Beltline right now. Boy, check this out. I-87, things are looking really good this morning. For now, remember, if you're with us in the last hour or so, you know that there was a real jam session there in I-87, but right now traffic is flowing at a nice steady clip in those southbound lanes coming into the Raleigh County area. So here's what you're looking at. Just a 4-minute delay coming in on I-87 right now, so that's really good news. The other thing, really, the other troubled spot is US 1 coming down from Wake Forest. So looking at a 9-minute delay, but we'll enjoy the other delays of 4 minutes on I-40 eastbound and just a 4-minute delay if you're coming in from Apex. So really, those delays are not going to make you late this morning. So just so you know, as you plan your morning commute. And over in Durham, very little to no delays whatsoever, short of a 9-minute delay if you're using Highway 98 to get from Wake Forest to Durham at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
New views. First on WRAL, a look at Raleigh's future Gateway City Plaza and how this high-tech development would anchor a new neighborhood.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. Let's bring in meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look at the forecast. Elizabeth, another cool morning for us.
Yeah, definitely looking beautiful. You can see the blue sky there. This is a live look at Zebulon, of course. It's just a pretty day out there. It started pretty chilly. Our temperatures were in the 40s this morning, but we're climbing on up into the 50s now. 56 in Fayetteville, 54 in Wilson and in Rocky Mount. And temperatures will warm up fast if you're out walking the dog. Around lunchtime, we'll be in the mid-70s with a high of 80. And then evening walks will be in the mid-70s. Overnight tonight, we have a quick band of rain that'll move through between midnight and around 3 a.m. Ken?
Happening now is staying on top of the congestion that we see this time of the morning on that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us right now. And here's what you're looking at in terms of planning your morning commute. You're looking at a 6-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. No delays on I-40 westbound coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area. We are picking up a little bit of the delay if you're using the Wade Avenue to get to I-40 westbound this morning, but just a 2-minute delay right now. Another look at your morning commute coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Raleigh police looking for the driver of a stolen car this morning. Police found the car on New Bern Avenue and Ferris Court at around 1:30. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as forensics investigated. Police say officers were not involved in a chase before the investigation. This morning, a push to make buying tickets easier and more affordable. Leaders want to limit second and third party sellers. A new bill could also ban resellers from using bots to buy a large number of tickets. There is a news conference at 10:30 to talk about that plan. Coming up next on Fox 50, state leaders reach a budget deal. What's included in that agreement? And coming up on Today, Martha Stewart live from Studio 1A.
Sunny and warm today, but I'm tracking some showers overnight. I'll show you how much rain we'll see.
Major campus expansion. Today, UNC's Carolina North project takes a step forward. The decision we're expecting today that could move this project closer to a groundbreaking.
Concert crackdown this morning, a push to make buying tickets easier and more affordable. The effort to stop second and third party sellers from hiking prices and selling fake stuff.
To get to here at 8:30, we always appreciate your time. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. Yes, we're going to get you caught up. Let's start with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Elizabeth, it was cool this morning, but we're already warming up here with sunny skies.
It's about 10 degrees warmer than it was in the 6 o'clock hour already. So it is going to be a fast warm up for us. It's a pretty start, too. We have blue skies and a few puffy cumulus clouds there as we look across Wake County. 54 is our current temperature in the Triangle. It's 56 in Fayetteville, 54 in Rocky Mount, and and in Roxborough, already 62 down in Clinton. We'll be in the mid-70s by lunchtime and climbing to around 80 degrees for this afternoon. We look ahead to tonight, and we're going to see a cold front that comes through. Starting to see the rain between 11 and midnight. It should last until around 3 or 4 in the morning. After that, we're looking at a chilly day for tomorrow. We'll check that out in just a bit. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now, but we're picking up some congestion on the Beltline, the Southern Loop, and the Northern Loop. So let's start with the Southern Loop of the Beltline. Give you a live look at I-40, Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So here's what you're looking at. You're looking at a 6-minute delay on that Southern Loop of the Beltline. So nothing necessarily that's going to make you late, but keep that in mind. No delays whatsoever if you're coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area between Highway 36 and the Beltline. Now, the Northern Loop of the Beltline, we're seeing some heavy congestion as well. As we look live at I-440 and New Bern Avenue, you can see the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So let's widen out the view. You can see the bulk of the congestion is really between Capitol Boulevard and the interchange of I-87 and 440. So right now you're looking at a 12-minute delay on that Northern Loop of the Beltline. So you have a choice when you come to that fork in the road in Southeast Raleigh with the I-40, 440 in terms of where you want to head. Where things have gotten a lot better coming in from Knightdale, you're just looking at a 5-minute delay. We're seeing the usual congestion we see this time of morning coming in from Wake Forest. You're looking at a 9-minute delay, but all the other routes are relatively delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Raleigh police are looking for the driver of a stolen car this morning. Police found the car on New Bern Avenue and Ferris Court at around 1:30. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as forensics were investigating. Police say officers were not involved in a chase before this investigation. And in Cary this morning, firefighters were called out to an early morning house fire. This happened on Nottely Place. It's near Green Level Church Road. The Cary fire chief says 3 people were in the home, but nobody was hurt. It appears that the fire started outside the house.
An entrance at Wake Med's Raleigh campus is temporarily closed after a car crashed into the building. The crash happened around 8:15 last night. Wake Med says the driver did not mean to hit that building. 2 people were treated for minor injuries.
Today, we will be watching for updates out of the state legislative building as Republican leaders say that they finally reached a budget deal. Let's get to WRAL's Kirsten Clark live outside the building right now. And Kirsten, this deal ends a year-long standoff over state spending priorities.
Yes, Laura, and that agreement includes raises for all state employees, including big bumps for teachers and law enforcement officers, and a consensus on scheduled income tax cuts. Now, let's take a closer look at the details here. It includes at least a 3% raise for all state employees and an on average 8% raise for teachers. State law enforcement officers, prison workers, and more would also see larger raises. And there are also bonuses on the table depending on employee experience. Now, the deal would institute gradual income tax decreases over the next few years, reaching 3.24% by 2030. At the same time, it calls for a pair of constitutional amendments on the November ballot, which would cap income and property taxes. What's not clear is how lawmakers plan to pay for all of this.
They are just now getting started at identifying potential spending cuts that could generate the revenue needed to pay for some of these raises.
Yeah, so the budget deal will still need to make its way through the House and the Senate before it can reach Governor Josh Stein's desk. We, of course, will continue to follow new developments, and you can find those on WRAL.com. Live in Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
A proposed budget from Durham's county manager includes a $10.9 million increase for Durham Public Schools. The school district says this would be the 6th consecutive year of increased funding over the $10 million. The proposal still has to be approved, though. The superintendent says he appreciates the partnership with the county manager and county commissioners and called on state lawmakers to make sure they support schools as well. UNC Chapel Hill Board of Trustees moving forward with its plan to build a 250-acre second campus called Carolina North. The campus will be less than 2 miles from the flagship campus at the intersection of MLK Boulevard and Estes Drive there in Chapel Hill. Let's bring in WRAL's Ali Katabar live near where that new campus could be built. And Ali, tell us about the project and how today's vote will advance the building process.
Yeah, well, trustees are expected to vote on who the designers will be for this project, and they approved $8 million for that design and planning phase. And I want to show you where this new campus site will be at the former Horace Williams Airport behind me. We do want to show you, though, this new Drone 5 video of the site. It's 700 acres. Phase 1 would include undergraduate housing for more than 2,000 students, academic research buildings, a hotel, and retail spaces. Now, Carolina North is one location being considered for replacement for the Dean Smith Center, but Phase 1 doesn't include that basketball arena at this point. Construction for Phase 1 would start next year. The UNC Board of Chapel Hill UNC Chapel Hill Board of Trustees are going to be meeting for that special meeting at 10 a.m. They're going to be deciding on that vote for a new designer for this project. Reporting live in Chapel Hill, Ali Kathabar, WRAL News.
The latest on the hantavirus outbreak. A French woman who tested positive for the hantavirus is critically ill and being treated with an artificial lung. That's according to the doctor treating her at a Paris hospital. This comes as the outbreak has now reached 11 total reported cases, 9 of them confirmed. 3 people have already died from the virus. Right now, more than a dozen Americans are in the University of Nebraska's National Quarantine Unit. The cruise ship is now sailing back to the Netherlands to be cleaned and disinfected. You can find all of our coverage in the hantavirus outbreak on our WRAL YouTube channel, and you can watch the latest updates from World Health and North Carolina officials. Just search hantavirus.
Within the hour, President Trump arriving in Beijing for a highly anticipated summit. Well, this is video from about 30 minutes ago when the president walked off Air Force One and was greeted by by special ceremony. He's now on his way to meet face-to-face with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two leaders will likely discuss the trade between their countries. The Trump administration hopes to create a board of trade to help prevent the trade war that ignited last year after the president's tariff hikes. They're also expected to discuss the war on Iran, AI, and the island of Taiwan. President Trump's visit will run through Friday.
This morning, there's an effort to make buying concert tickets to see your favorite artists easier and more affordable. People are calling for a crackdown on second and third party ticket resales. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is in downtown Raleigh with the push to make it illegal to use bots for buying tickets.
That push is all about helping you buy tickets to see the artists you love without being ripped off. In a few hours, we'll see folks coming here to the Poorhouse Music Hall in downtown Raleigh to discuss this effort to make the ticket buying process easier and more affordable. Today's call to action comes after Ticketmaster's parent company, Live Nation, was found guilty of overcharging and having a monopoly over large venues. Now there's a call to target price gouging for concert tickets at clubs and small venues in North Carolina by putting limits on second and third party sellers. A new bill could ban resellers from using bots to buy a large number of tickets. It would also require resellers to provide direct links to the primary seller and stop using misleading content that makes them look like the primary seller. This all in an effort to lower ticket prices and prevent fake tickets from being sold. North Carolina lawmakers, club owners, and musicians plan to host a news conference this morning at 10:30 here at the Poorhouse to talk about this new plan. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
New this morning, the Cumberland County School Board has approved the closures of J.W. Kuhn and Manchester Elementary Schools. Students will be reassigned next year. The school board says it will share information about where those students will go in the near future.
Well, today, a push to address the mental health of teens in schools. A bipartisan group of lawmakers plans to introduce a bill that would increase mental health first aid training in schools. It would provide a little more than $1 million to go toward teacher training, I should say. Researchers say this bill could be the first step in a complex solution.
One of those solutions is by ensuring both youth and teachers and people who spend a lot of time around youth have the training and the skill sets to be able to recognize and respond to youth in crisis and connect them to the care that they need.
That was Neil Harrington from the organization NC Child. He also says schools need an adequate number of school psychologists and counselors. Today's press conference will happen this afternoon at 1.
We have more news just ahead now. The future of Raleigh. First on WRAL, we're getting a look at major downtown development. We go behind the scenes of what could one day be the home of driverless cars in the city.
Also, our teacher of the week works at the same middle school that she attended growing up in Wake Forest. We'll show you why she relates so well to her students.
And our next weather maker is this cold front that will bring us some showers overnight. I'll let you know the timeline and how much rain we could see coming up. 8:44. We are starting off with a gorgeous day outside. This is a live look at Pittsburgh. It was chilly this morning, but we're warming on up into the 50s, and the wind is light, so it's really going to feel comfortable for us today. It's 55 in Roanoke Rapids, 56 in Fayetteville. It's 60 already in Goldsboro. I will climb on up into the mid-70s by lunchtime. If you have time to eat lunch outside or take your walk at lunchtime, it's going to feel great. We climb to 80 degrees in the middle of the afternoon, and then if you're looking for some exercise later on this evening, temperatures will be in the mid-70s. Looking ahead to tonight, we do have a band of showers that will roll through. I'll show you the timeline and how much rain we might see coming up. Ken?
All right, happening now in Elizabeth, we're staying on top of what we're seeing here, the usual, this time of the morning, usually on the southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes that are moving away from us this morning. So let's check the census for you, just in case this is part of your morning commute. Things are getting a little better. You're looking at a 5-minute delay because once you get around the bend and get past the Gorman Street exit, it's really clear sailing all the way to Cary. I'll have another update coming up in about 10 minutes.
Ken, thank you. First on WRAL, new views of an upcoming plaza meant to anchor a new neighborhood in the city of Oaks. Alex Littlehill's got a behind-the-scenes look into another big change for downtown development.
WRAL got a first look at the next phase of a big redevelopment project here in downtown Raleigh. New renderings of an open green space sitting atop an automated parking garage that WRAL has told you about for a couple weeks now.
We've been really inspired by a lot of the programming at places like Moore Square and think we could achieve something similar with having activities.
A self-parking automated garage equipped with EV charging and even the potential to someday house driverless cars. This week, developers shared with WRAL first brand new site plans for the garage's roof, an open concept city plaza centered at the larger city gateway project.
I think a huge reason why it hasn't been developed up until this point in time is because of the lack of visibility on the site. Really not easy to access this site unless someone's coming to Mirror and coming across Kinley Street.
Asher McLaughlin, with one of the development partners' first floor, told WRAL construction is officially underway for the garage underneath. More renderings shared to WRAL show just how exactly the structure will look. Robotic bays housing up to 228 cars, stacked by an automatic kiosk-like system just feet below the plaza. Previous reporting shows Raleigh Mayor Janet Cowell calling the project a potential, quote, catalyst for driverless car conversations.
She called this project a catalyst. Would you say that there's any new developments regarding partnership with a driverless car company?
We don't currently have any contract or agreement in place with a driverless car company, but if and when Raleigh decides it's the time, we'll have the technology ready.
Alex Littlehales, WRAL News.
Developers are extending the small Kindly Street to create another intersection where it meets MLK Boulevard at the base of the new neighborhood. It's expected to finish by the year's end, too.
Google and SpaceX are in talks about a potential rocket launch deal. The two companies are discussing the launch of an orbital data centers. Elon Musk says the yet-to-be-proven technology is the next step for his rocket company. Google is also supposedly considering deals with other rocket launch companies. In 2025, Google unveiled plans to launch prototype satellites next year as part of its Moonshot initiative titled Project Suncatcher.
Developers revealed their vision for the next phase of the North Hills Innovation District. Renderings show Kane Realty planning new apartments and office towers, a hotel with a rooftop bar, and a new greenway. Construction already underway. Bench warmers, bagels, and standard beer and food are set to open in June, and a new golf and social club is coming later this year.
Our teacher of the week was born and raised in Wake Forest and now teaches at the middle school she attended growing up. We're at Wake Forest Middle School to recognize an English teacher known for being a mentor, motivator, and inspiration to her students.
Make sure you're using the word, okay, in a way that tells me you understand the meaning of the word.
Sarah Holt can't imagine doing anything else but educating young minds in her 7th grade classroom at Wake Forest Middle.
How can you extend that sentence?
Ms. Holt says being a teacher was her dream ever since she was a little girl, and that motivation was rooted in her family tree.
My mom was a huge inspiration. I had a grandmother who was a music teacher. My sister was a teaching fellows for French.
Ms. Holt is known for meeting students where they are in their academic journey.
That's awesome. I liked how you used the quotation from page 79.
Oftentimes with an encouraging word or being patient and kind, creating a safe learning environment.
When a child finally picks up reading and comprehension, writing essays for the first time, because they were working, school at home, that's been really rewarding.
Ms. Holt is especially grateful when she connects with her students by helping them equate literature to their daily lives, like the novel The Outsiders, which they're currently reading.
Having them in my class and learning things each day helps me build a relationship with them, and especially when they share things with me, what they've done.
Ms. Holt, you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week. Give her a big round of applause, class. Congratulations. She looked very surprised, which is good. If you'd like to nominate a teacher, go to WRAL.com and enter Teacher of the Week in the search box. Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger is saving Christmas.
And Broadway is getting a little weird. Here's a look at what's trending. Now, Weird Al Yankovic is heading to Broadway, a new stage production featuring his most beloved songs. It's called Dare to Be Stupid, the Weird Al musical, and will feature an original story. The people behind this new musical also did Beetlejuice and Moulin Rouge. Oh my goodness, that's fun.
And Weird Al is one of those guys. He's like a musical genius.
Yes.
Gotta love it.
Very exciting.
And if he hasn't played enough iconic characters, here we go again. Arnold Schwarzenegger adding Santa Claus to his list of roles. We're getting our first look at him as Saint Nick in the upcoming action comedy Man with the Bag. Now, in the movie, he teams up with a thief to help save Christmas. The movie will premiere on Amazon Prime on December 2nd, just in time for Christmas, right? Well, the spring finale of One Chicago is almost here. You can watch the season enders for Chicago Med, Fire, and PD tonight on WRAL. The shows lead right up to our 11 o'clock news on WRAL.
Let's welcome back meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. And Elizabeth, things have been pretty quiet, but I know you're already tracking the next system.
Yes, the next one comes in overnight tonight. And, a couple of days out, we were watching it and it looked like we were going to have a good chance for rain. But what's happening is the low that's bringing us this front is going to track so far to the north that it's not going to really be able to grab up any energy and moisture from the Gulf or from the Atlantic. So not a lot of rain with this. We take a look at this afternoon and we'll continue to see sunny skies just like we are right now with a few clouds mixed in. And then the front starts to drop in on us as early as around 10 or 11, but it's not likely to move into the bulk of the triangle until closer to midnight. It moves along the I-95 corridor by about 2 a.m. and then out of our area by around 5. So we're not looking at seeing any rain lingering into the morning commute. However, some of the streets could be a little bit damp. The amount of rain that we see out of this is going to be minimal, less than 1/10 of an inch. We take a look at our Garner Tower this morning and it looks absolutely beautiful. So those big puffy cumulus clouds, blue skies combined. 54 is our temperature. I will jump 20 degrees between now and lunchtime into the mid-70s. That makes it a really nice lunch hour to spend outside. It's still a cool 48 in Chapel Hill, but it's a warm 63 in Clayton. 54 in Morrisville, 55 in Rollsville, 57 in Holly Springs. So those warm temperatures are coming. As a matter of fact, it's about 5 to 10 degrees warmer already this morning than it was this time yesterday. That'll bring us into the 80s. Expect low to mid 80s across our area for today. Once tonight's front comes through, we see temperatures falling for both Thursday and into Friday, especially Friday morning. And then after that, everything changes. We'll see temperatures feeling very much like summer. Once we get to Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we'll have the transition day Saturday at 88, but then we're in the low 90s Sunday and maybe all the way through most of next week. The following weekend is Memorial Day, and it looks like there might be some rain for Memorial Day. It's a little too early to say, but what we can say is Sunday is going to feel very much like summer. It's going to be steamy when you figure in the heat index. So we take a look at our forecast, and we're looking at dry conditions for this afternoon. Coming up, we'll have your top story. Stick with us.